After the holidays, or really any time of year, sometimes you just need a nice, light dessert to brighten up your day. Maybe you overdid it a little bit at the holidays, you're tired of all the heavy foods. Maybe you're new to the keto or low carb lifestyle and you didn't even know you could have desserts. Maybe you've been doing a keto or low carb for a long time and you just need a break and something to brighten up your day a little bit. Or maybe it's cold outside and you need to let a little sunshine in. This dessert's gonna do that too. So today on Southern Keto, let's head down somewhere tropical. I'm gonna show you how to make my keto key lime pie. It's refreshing, light, bright, and you are absolutely gonna love it. Stick around. The first thing I'm going to do is preheat my oven to 375 degrees. And since we're making a pie, I'm going to prepare my pie plate here. So I'm just going to spray it with a little bit. This is avocado oil. You can use butter it up. You can use beef tallow, cooking spray, whatever you want to use. I'm just going to get that nice and coated. I'm going to set this off to the side. Now I've got some pecan halves here. I'm going to get 2 heaping cups of this and pour them out, and I'm going to chop them up. And I'm just going to take my slap chopper right here, and you can do these as fine as you want to. I like to leave mine with a little bit of texture in there. I think it's a nice contrast with that beautiful, bright, creamy key lime pie filling. Now this is the texture I like to go for right here. Of course you could use pecan flour if you wanted to make a true crust. But the way I like to do it is just leave some of the little chunks like this. And not huge chunks, but just a little bit so that you got a little bite, kind of offset that smooth and creamy key lime. Now that you've got the pecans chopped up just the way you want them, I'm going to take half a stick of butter, or if you don't have them in sticks, it's 4 tablespoons, or by weight, just Google it. I'm just going to put it right in my microwave safe mug. This is the only one I've got that doesn't burn you half to death when you pull it out of the microwave. So I'm going to melt this butter down in the microwave, and then I'll show you how to put together the crust. Now it's time to break out Old Yeller. I'm just going to take all these pecans, go right into Old Yeller with it. I'm just trying to get as few on the counter as possible, you know. And that's your pecan flour right there, if that's what you want to do with it. If you want to make a nice true crust, or you can just buy pecan flour if you want to. Now I'm just going to take my melted butter and go right in there on top of those pecans. I'm going to give them a nice mixing. Just make sure you get it real well incorporated in there, because this is going to make a fine, proper crust. Now the other thing that I'm going to do to this is I'm going to take 2 teaspoons. And this is my granulated sweetener blend, and if you haven't made that, I'll put a link to it down in the description and up in the corner somewhere. But I'm going to take 2 teaspoons of that and mix it in. And look, even if you're making a savory dish, that little bit of sweetness will really bring out the savory flavors too. Kind of like salt brings out the flavors in your sweeteners. So I'm just going to give this a good mix, and we'll go right to that pie plate that we got prepared earlier. So now that that's all mixed up proper, I'm just going to pour it right out into this pie plate. Make sure you scrape it down real good, because we're going to use Old Yeller one more again. And then just take it, press it down, make it look as pretty as you want. You can run it up the sides if you want to, or you can just do a nice thick layer on the bottom, whatever you like. I think I'm going to do a little crust on mine up the sides. So just press it all in there real good. Use a spatula, use a fork, whatever implement of destruction you like, until you get a nice crust. And if you can't have nuts, you could always leave this part out. You can just make that key lime if you want, and just eat it out of a bowl or a cup or whatever you want to put it in. But if you can, I would highly recommend making this. So now that I got my crust finished, I'm going to pop it in the oven for about 10 minutes, and I'll be right back to show you what it looks like. If you love keto and low carb desserts like I do, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscribe button right down there. It lit up for you. No, go ahead. You can hit that button. There you go. Now you won't miss any of my other desserts. While that crust is in there baking, you're going to need to take Old Yeller and look. If you ain't got old yeller, it's just not going to taste as good, plain and simple. Now, I showed you how to make one pie crust. This filling is going to make 2 pies, so if you only want one, cut this in half. You're going to need to take some cream cheese, and you are going to need the 2-pack.
You got to learn to hold your own. They get jealous when they see you with your mobile phone.
I've been letting this cream cheese sit out at room temperature for about an hour, so I'm going to put it into Old Yeller, if I can get it off this paper. Why they package it like this? Isn't there an easier way to do that? We'll throw 2 of those right in Old Yeller. And I don't know if you're like me or not, but I like to get every last little bit off of here. So I'm going to scrape these down, put them in Old Yeller, and I'll show you what to do next. I'm going to get my powdered sweetener out. I'm going to put 1/3 of a cup in there. And I'm going to put a whole cup in there. I decided to dirty up a couple measuring cups on this for you. You know, I was trying to make this a fancy video. And a little bit more for good measure. You see how precise these recipes are? You better be weighing everything. Just kidding. You'll never see me with a scale in the kitchen. My oven timer just went off. So I'm going to take my crust out, put it on the counter where it needs to cool completely before we do anything else with it. Look at the edges on that thing. How good that looks. This is a proper crust. And we can turn the oven off now because there's no more baking required. See how easy that was? The rest is even easier. And I almost forgot something. You know I don't make anything sweet without a little bit of that beaver-free. I'm going to use a tablespoon of that. Don't tell anybody. Sounds like a lot of vanilla, but listen, it brings out the taste in this lime like you wouldn't believe. Or maybe the lime brings out the taste in the vanilla. I don't know. But make sure you read your label. If it doesn't say beaver-free on there, you just don't know what's in it. Now that vanilla extract's in there, I'm going to set this off to the side for just a minute. I'm going to get a stainless steel mixing bowl. Now this is not necessary. I'd recommend the yellow one just for the taste, you know. But into that, I'm going to put 3 cups of heavy cream. Did you catch that? What just happened? Now I'm just going to take my hand mixer and I'm going to beat this up until we get stiff peaks. I won't bore you with the details, but just keep going and I'll show you what those stiff peaks should look like. And you know you're getting close when you can start to see lines in it like this. See how we're just whipping the air in there like that? Now once it kind of holds the lines like that, just press your beaters down in there and pick it up. And if it holds the peaks like that, it's exactly what you want. It should be nice and stiff, thus stiff peaks. I'm going to throw this in the fridge for just a minute and we'll finish making our key lime filling. So now I'll take the cream cheese, the beaver-free vanilla, and the sweetener. I'm going to go ahead and mix that up. I like to just kind of work it around a little bit before, just so this powdered sweetener doesn't fly all over the kitchen. And if you don't have time to set your cream cheese out for an hour or so, you can throw it in the microwave if you want for just a little bit. You don't want it to melt, but just soften up a little. I'll show you what it looks like when I get done. So this is what it should look like now. And I'm going to go in with some key lime juice. Now I did not juice key limes. That's way too much trouble. I like this Nelly and Joe's famous key lime juice. It is awesome. It's from concentrate, and they squeeze all those tiny little limes their own self, so I don't have to do it. Then we're going to go in with 1 cup of key lime juice. So just get that all well combined like that. Now I'm going to zest some lime to go into that. And these are the key limes, and I'll use the juice for something else. I sure wasn't going to try to get juice out of these little things. So you're going to need about 2 tablespoons of this zest, and try to buy organic if you can. They spray citrus fruit more than any other kind of food. And if you can't find organic, then just use some of that vegetable wash or fruit wash to wash the outside of it, and you don't have to worry about it. So the zest of 1 key lime is about a tablespoon. So if you'll get 2 key limes and zest them, you should have your 2 tablespoons. And if you can't find key limes for some reason, you can use regular limes as well. It just helps to bring out that nice lime flavor. Now I'm going to go in with that lime zest. Make sure you get all that goodness in there. And then mix that in. So now I'm going to take the heavy cream that's whipped to stiff peaks. I'm just going to fold a little bit of that in at a time. Just mix it together. Just try to keep as much air in there as you possibly can. You just want it pretty well combined in there. Make sure you taste it too. Make sure its sweetener's right. Oh man. Now there's a couple ways you can do this at this point, and people thought it was really weird on my lemon dessert video when I did this, but what I would recommend is that you fill this pie, you put it in the freezer for about 2 hours, then you take it out and let it thaw completely. Now you can put it in for about a half hour if you want in the freezer and then serve it, but I'm just telling you, it comes out so much better if you just do that freezing time. And I doubled this recipe because I'm making another one, but all my measurements are right. The recipe will be down in the description also with all the exact measurements. So I'm just going to take this, make the top nice and smooth, and I'll throw it in the freezer for a couple hours, and I'll see you after that. Well, thanks to the magic of YouTube, this is frozen and thawed completely. So let me cut into it, show you what it looks like. And you can finish this up with just a little bit of lime zest on there. And maybe a little wedge of lime like that on the side. And that's how I like to do my key lime pie. I mean, oh man. I am telling you right now, this is the good stuff. But the main thing, how does it taste? This is absolutely delicious. Now, if you enjoyed this video, but you think you'd rather have it with lemon instead, watch this video right here. It's a little different variation on this. And make sure you leave me a comment and let me know how much you love the music in this video. I'll see you over there.